What's up, everybody? Welcome to Crackin' Hunters. Of course, I'm Carolina Hitman.
And this is Strife coming once again.
And today we're going to be talking about Resident Evil. We haven't decided yet whether we want to throw the movies in there or not. We're going to let it flow a little bit. Just a tad bit. Just a tad. And we'll see where the conversation takes us today. Yes, because we got our grills once again. Yes, our grills. So, as we're drinking from these, the conversation may delve into other topics, but they will be Resident Evil related.
Yes.
But so my brother Strife.
Yes.
When was the first time you played Resident Evil?
Yes. It was Christmas time. My aunt had bought me a PlayStation 1 and Resident Evil 2. The first game that ever got me into the horror genre, if you will. And like we were discussing earlier, it was over. Christmas was canceled. I spent the rest of my day in the room playing Resident Evil. Forget all the Christmas gifts. It was just Resident Evil 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Resident Evil had a chokehold on Christmas. Just, give me your Christmas, boy.
Just as you were saying.
Yes, but same thing for me. Like, it wasn't Christmas time. I think it was sometime during like summer. My mom brought me a PS1, Resident Evil 2. That was the first one I played. And man, I'm like you, man. The day was over with.
Yes.
And there haven't been many games that have impacted me that much, especially horror-related games, as much as Resident Evil 2.
Same here.
Because once I played that game, I was hooked for the survival horror genre. Because I had never played Silent Hill or even the original Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So for me, Resident Evil 2 is my gateway into the survival horror type genre. And man, I love every minute of it. From the opening when the truck crashes and you're fighting through the flaming zombies and everything like that, man. I loved it. It was nothing I didn't love about that game. That game was probably, especially for its time, next to perfect. I mean, really, I understand the tank controls and everything, but that game was next to perfect, especially for its time.
I love the tyrant in there, the guy with the big green coat that followed you around everywhere, come pop out of nowhere from time to time. But from our point of view, the liquors. Liquors, it made that game.
Yes.
Whenever I first saw like the liquor crawling on the ceiling and stuff tongue out and it fell down, I ran. And of course, I know exactly which part you're going to say, so I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, for me, it was the part where the liquors jumped through the two-way mirror. That, I'm sorry, I don't care who you were. The first time you played that, you jumped. Because that was everything goes silent, which, as much as I'm into horror movies, you would think I would know right away something's wrong. The music stops, it's dead silence, something's bad about to happen. Excuse me, but I didn't realize that and then dropped my controller by accident because it caught me off guard. And I was mad at myself. I'm like, Alvin, really? You getting scared like that?
And even after you beat the game like 10, 20 times, you still go to that room and you're just like, all right, he's about to bust out now, but he doesn't do it.
Right, because it's like they waited, it's like the game knew you were expecting that, and either waited like a half a second or a second before it was supposed to or later to kind of throw you off. That's what it felt like to me. Like it knew you were going to, okay, he's coming up to this part, guys. Get ready, here he comes.
And someone like the game, it's like,
Exactly. And man, and I love the save system for its time. I love the ammo, love the different guns. No, I know they were basic, but it still felt awesome, man. When you get that, the first time you get that shotgun and you lay a zombie out, ain't no feeling better. Yes.
Just straight.
The Magnum. Yep.
Oh, the Magnum.
Yes. You got that Magnum. You just pop heads. This
favorite weapon in the game.
Yes.
Any Resident Evil game. Give me a Magnum. I'm done.
Yeah, they knew that too because they didn't give you much ammo for it. You had to be sparing. Which to me, that's another thing I loved about it is that it made sense because you really had to conserve your ammo because you never knew it was around the corner. Sometimes you had to run around zombies to kind of try and conserve what ammo you had because you never knew if you were going to run out or what you were going to run into, especially later in the game when you start fighting like bigger bosses and stuff. Because you knew you needed those shotgun shells for something bigger. You didn't want to waste them on some lowly level 1 zombie. You might have to say that shit for the level 5s and 10s when they come out. I know they have levels, but I'm just saying, I'm just using it as an analogy.
Yeah, because once you get later on during the game, everything is a whole lot harder.
Yes.
Lickers, zombies,
were the toad things in that one?
That was in.
Was that the first one?
Yeah, that was the first one.
Okay.
And then 3.
Okay, yeah, we're in 3. That's right.
We'll get to 3 in a minute because we love 3.
Yes, but to me that was one of the most perfect games, especially for its time. I love that game. There's nothing I don't love about it.
Yes, same here. It was just revolutionary for me because I was used to playing Super Mario Kart.
Right, exactly.
Just Mario Brothers and Street Fighter, and when Resident Evil came along, it just changed me for life. Because after that, it was Silent Hill, and what was it for the PlayStation 4, The Evil Within? Oh my God, that's another story for another time.
Yes,
it all dates back to Resident Evil 2.
I think so too. I think all survival horror games owe Resident Evil a lot for breaking that genre out. I think they do. Now we're gonna skip to Resident Evil 3. Now, how did you feel about Resident Evil 3?
Loved Resident Evil 3 because it took everything from 2 and enhanced on it. It just grew, and it introduced one of my favorite villains ever, besides Wesker. Coming back to you, Nemesis.
Yes,
Nemesis. Because when I saw him, he jumped through and just killed the guy from Resident Evil 1. I don't remember his name.
He did too.
Please leave I think it's Barry Burton, but leave a comment in the section below. Let us know what his name is. But when he killed him, I just turned into Kevin Hart. Oh my God, no, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. No, I'm out. And I ran. Yeah, I'm running. I'm ducking through zombies, pushing them out the way. Sorry. No, out the way. And then I hear something, and I stop. I freeze.
This is after you went in the house?
Yes. I was like, what's that noise? And I hear, and that's all I hear is footsteps. And I turn around, stars. He's right behind me.
Well, I know you died that first time.
Yes, I died horribly.
And I think that was another thing I loved about that game is that he followed you throughout the game, and you never really knew when he was going to come out. And I think that was revolutionary at the time. You know, basically have a boss follow you throughout the entire game, never knowing when he was going to pop out through a door or bust through a wall or anything like that. That's one of the things I loved about Resident Evil 2. Like you said, it took everything. Resident Evil 3. It took everything from 2 and enhanced it, and then threw something extra in there called Nemesis.
Yes,
that big Joker man, I swear. He was irritating.
Yes, I love Nemesis.
Because no one ever stood and fought him. You always ran. Because no matter what you made, like the first time you played it, first few times, you may have tried to shoot him and empty and waste all your ammo, and then you're like, well, I'm dead anyway. So, but yeah, that's one of the things I loved about that game is just Nemesis.
I didn't fight him until I got unlimited ammo.
Really?
Yeah. When I got unlimited ammo, I was sitting there just guns in the street.
Right, yeah, of course, because you got unlimited ammo.
Yeah, straight to gang warfare. I'll shoot people, babies. I'm shooting everything.
Just everything.
Everything?
Everything. But man, I wish more games would really drastically change their play style, like Resident Evil did with Resident Evil 3 and 2. No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm talking about my favorite of the franchise, and that's 4. Like, it drastically changed a lot of stuff from the previous 3 till now. Yep. And what I loved about that, man, for me, I love the aiming system. That was the main thing I loved about that game. You can shoot weapons out the air, and you can actually aim and really get headshots. Yep. Because the previous games, you really couldn't do that. You just basically stood, aimed, and then hope for the best. Yep. Right. They come at you with a weapon, shoot it out the hand. Exactly. Shoot them in the kneecap, they fall to the ground. And that was one of the things I loved about that, the way they did that kind of system, man. Like, like you shoot him in the knee, he's gonna fall. Yep. You start, he's running towards you, pop, and well, he stumbled. Now it's time to unload on him. But I love that game, man. I love the way the controls, man. Like you had to use these to really run in the cutscenes, and that's one of the other things I loved about it. The quick time systems. Yes, which now that system had got I don't want to say bastardized, but that's probably the only word I can use. Where every game wanted to use it from that point on, all the time. And at least with Resident Evil, like before, you can go take a break during the cutscenes and stuff like that. No, the cutscenes were interactive. Like you really had to be a part of those cutscenes, and I love that. There's been plenty of times I get up to go use the bathroom, then I come back and I'm dead. I'm like, what? Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to the cutscenes.
That's what happened. Yeah, because that's what happened the first time I did it. The first cutscene, like, okay, I got a few seconds. Let me go and do this right quick.
Yep.
And come back. I'm like, Dad, what the hell happened? But yeah.
And Resident Evil 4. My favorite character in Resident Evil is Leon S. Kennedy. I love Leon. I mean, like we said, Resident Evil 2 got me hooked on Leon, and then Resident Evil 4. Yeah, Leon is just an amazing character.
Because Leon knows how to get stuff done.
You daggone right.
He will make a way. He's like the MacGyver of the Resident Evil games. Like, he'll find a way.
Chris,
Give him, go ahead.
Chris is too burly. It's just like,
yeah, he's like
straight through. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna punch a boulder.
But yeah, but that's why I said Resident Evil 4 is my favorite of the entire franchise. Like, I love 2, but I love the different things it did with 4, and that's why it's my favorite of the franchise.
Of course. What you boying?
You're right. Yes. Oh, yes, and also the inventory system where you got to basically play Tetris, trying to fit all your stuff in there to make sure everything fit, because you needed everything in there. I love how they did that too.
Not to say, I know it's not one of your favorites, but it has one of our favorite villains in it, Resident Evil 5.
Man, now, it's not...
Did you see that face? Well, did you see the face?
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't like Resident Evil 5. That's where it really started losing what Resident Evil was about.
Yeah.
It really started making a big shift towards action.
Yeah, it's like more of an action game.
Yeah, and for me, Resident Evil is not about the action. It's about the horror and and trying to survive in that horror.
There was no horror in Resident Evil 5. I wasn't scared in the slightest.
Me neither.
Not in the slightest.
And I enjoyed playing it, especially because I did like the multiplayer where you and another person can play as Shiva, and I do like that. Like I said, I did like that part of it, being able to play Resident Evil with a friend. But I did not like how they moved it to more of an action game than what Resident Evil is, and that's horror. And I don't like that.
Yeah,
like I said, I enjoyed the game, but I hate what they did. I hate the direction they were going.
I will say, one thing I did like about Resident Evil 5 was my boy Wesker.
Yeah.
I love Albert Wesker.
Yes, now he did a good job in there.
In the words of Riley Freeman.
No homo, granddad.
Wesker was just amazing. Yeah, I base my character that I draw off of Wesker, because that whole teleporting and Wesker is just a G.
Yeah, he is, and I like that. Yeah, I mean that was actually another good point. I mean, another good part of Resident Evil 5.
I hated the fact they did him so bad in the Resident Evil movies. Yes, we said we weren't gonna get on it before we started filming, but I think we might get on Resident Evil movies. Good, but it's not gonna be good.
No, it's not. It's really not. It's not at all. But before we do that,
yes,
my most hated game of the franchise, that piece of garbage 6. I was so mad when I brought 6. Like, I was mad. Like, Leon's story was decent because it was a Resident Evil story. Yes. Everything else about that game was garbage. Everything about it. Like, that was where I had lost faith in Resident Evil. Like, I'm not buying it anymore. I'm not doing it no more.
I was explaining to Kim upstairs, my girlfriend, my wife, whichever one you want to say, but Leon's is straight Resident Evil 2, 3. Yeah. And Chris's storyline is more like Rainbow Six,
Gears of War, and they didn't do like they tried to take elements from both those games and messed them up both. I mean, just messed them up horribly.
Jake's is pretty much an action movie. It's just an action movie. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, you're right.
Just like just
and it's horrible. There's nothing good about Resident Evil 6 for me. Like I said, Leon's was the only kind of thing that I liked, but as a whole, I hate that game.
If I play Resident Evil 6, which I do have it upstairs, it's just Leon's story.
Man, that's really the only one you need to play. Honestly, it really is.
And Ada's is like a spy film. That's what it is.
Yeah, but it's not enough. It's not enough, and it's still not Resident Evil. I'm saying I just got out of playing that game, man. I tried. I didn't even beat the game because it was stupid. I just didn't like it. I was done with this.
Yeah, but the resurgence of Resident Evil was amazing. I don't know if you played Resident Evil 7.
Biohazard?
Yes.
Yes, I have not played it. I have not actually beaten it all the way through, but I have played it.
You have?
No, yeah, I love it. Like that because it's now a survival horror, and and for me, I know some people were skeptical or may not like the way it switched to first person. I think that enhances a Resident Evil game, because it kind of puts you in in the shoes of the protagonist, and I like that. And it made it a horror game again. That's what I loved about Biohazard. That's what made me have some faith back in the franchise. Because I almost didn't buy Biohazard. Almost didn't. I'm like, you know what? This looks like a horror game. I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm glad I did. It was really good.
It's
from what I played.
Yeah, it's so good that whenever we're back in North Carolina, like my girlfriend will come to the house and I'm like, well, what do you want to do today? She's like, play Resident Evil.
Oh.
Yes.
She has good taste.
That she does.
Good taste.
A very good taste.
But I think, like I said, that was a good resurgence of that franchise.
Yeah.
And I hope they continue that. Like, I think Resident Evil still can continue going on. I mean, it's a really good franchise, as long as they stick to what the key elements of the franchise is about, and that's survival horror. It has to stick with that, because if you start shying away, as 5 and 6 did, even some of 4, you see where it leads to. And I think they realized that, and that's why they made it like it was. And I'm glad they did. They did a good job on it.
Who was your favorite villain? In Resident Evil? All of Resident Evil.
Wesker.
Wesker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the shades.
Yeah.
There was the shades.
It's the shades.
It just enhances the badassness of him. It's the shades.
Yeah.
I love it. I love. That's my favorite. That's my favorite villain.
I'm inclined to agree with you on that, because I played Resident Evil 2, of course, and he was like a secret character you could play in, in like the mission hunts or whatever.
Right.
And whenever Code Veronica came along, and I saw him come at the end of the game. Right. I was like, who the gets Albert Wesker?
Now, one game we did not talk about. Have you ever played Resident Evil Revelations?
Yes, I played the first one, like on the boat.
Yes, I thought that was actually really good.
Really good.
Have you played the second one?
No, I didn't.
You need to play the second one. It's actually really good. Yeah, so both the Resident Evil Revelation games, I think, are really good. Excuse me, and still stick to that survival horror kind of technique that those games use, and I thought it was a really good job, especially because I played it on the Xbox One, because I think the original one was on. Was it on? I think it was on PSP or game. Or,
I think PSP.
I think so. Guys, let us know in the comment section when was Resident Evil Revelations. What was the first console it was on? I know it was handheld. That much I do know. And that's another thing I'm impressed with, how they translated the handheld to the console. They did a really good job on that, because that's always iffy, and it never goes well a lot of times, but they did a good job on that. But yes, Resident Evil is an awesome franchise, and I love it.
Very much so. It's influenced my life in so many ways. I actually thinking about getting an umbrella symbol tattoo.
That's a nice good.
Yeah, that's might be my next tattoo.
That's a good one. I'm too dark for that. I'm sorry. It's the truth. I'm too black for it. I can't even put color in my skin except for red. That's it. And so that's boring. And I would love to get a Resident Evil tattoo, umbrella symbol, but I'm too black. It's just the way of life. I'm sorry. But I hope they continue to keep making Resident Evil games and make them as good as they've been making them.
I bet they will. I hope they will.
All right, so guys, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come right back on this Resident Evil discussion, and we're gonna delve into the movies. That's what we're gonna do next.
Be warned.
Be warned, because we're gonna have some stuff to say about this. All right.
Sorry.
All right, guys, we'll see you in a few minutes. Join us again. Well, just join us back with us in a few minutes.
Yeah, we're back in a minute.